just gonna turn that one off. Hi everyone. I'm just gonna turn that one off because I'm already ready and I really don't want to listen to that song right now. What's up, Turtles? So anyways, we need to finish 2.09 update stuff before I go to work today. So I got a couple hours to do that. So we'll warm up with a few things that I did not PG first time, and then we'll get into the new things that I still haven't played. Let me bring up PIU tracker. I could probably get auto break first try. Let's try that first. A live D17 was really fun. It's very amusing. No problem, first try. Well, for the day. Should have gotten it yesterday, but that's fine.
Absolutely perfect!
No problem there.
Next stage.
I guess let's go for Vanish 2 next. We'll just go in order for song list. I don't even remember what happened on this yesterday, but it looks like I got it good somewhere. What's up, Jack? What's up, Gary? What's up, Titty? Everybody's popping in. What's up, Val?
Absolutely perfect!
Yeah, we're just quickly fixing some scores from yesterday just to make sure I don't
Next
overlook them. So all we have is Solve My Hurt and Alive. Solve My Hurt's surprisingly tricky. There's a surprisingly lot of 234 bursting for an 18 at the end. It's a good question. We'll think about it. The most creative has definitely been D23 for this. That is a very unique experience, and it's fun, but it's very different. Problem that time. Oh yeah, it's great. What's up? What's up, Kyle?
Absolutely perfect! Wow! New
Yeah,
record!
like BGA for this is great. Really encapsulates that fever dream that just really fits the song.
Game over!
That is one of the parts that Phoenix did improve, like coming off the tail end of XX into Chrono Circle and into Phoenix. BGA quality as a whole is so much better now, like consistently a lot better. That is one of the parts that's definitely a step up, like all across the board. Alright, the only 18 I need to fix now is Alive. I had trouble with Alive. I wasn't I wasn't expecting that bracket at the end. We'll be ready for it this time. This has such a strange set of charts. Like, they fit in their own weird way, but wow. Which is funny because the Chrono Circle chart really wasn't that weird, all things considered. It's definitely a lot less weird than it was in my mind. My Mai or Waka? One of the two. I think it was My Mai I'm thinking of. Yeah, Because of You is great. Like I said, I played that a lot in Chrono Circle. It's a good song.
Wow! New record!
I was actually surprised it wasn't in Waka. Like, I went to go back and check the list and I didn't see any videos of it. What's up, Dashner?
Next stage.
Alive is good. Alive is very unique. It gets points for being very fresh in terms of charts. Like, even the run charts were surprisingly nasty. And I didn't play them that great last time, so we will fix that another time. Anyways, I'll get 19s another time when I do the 19 grind. So let's move on to new songs. We're going to work backwards, actually. So we're going to do Because of You next. It's right over here. Somewhere over here. I keep missing it. Yeah, there it is. Like, I know it's somewhere in Hardcore Tennessee.
You're just so used to it, it doesn't trigger as a new song.
More like the brain's still trying to wake up, even though I go to work today. That is a surprisingly lot of stuff happening for a 16. Like, it's fine, but that's a lot of stuff happening for 16, it feels like.
Absolutely perfect! Wow! New
That's good
record!
It's good.
Next stage.
It's definitely, like, right on the border. Because there's no long, continuous run, but for something at that BPM, there's a lot going on. That's also a good one. Good chart.
Absolutely perfect!
It's a lot of fun.
Wow!
Also, a tricky 18. You've got so much, so many little things early on, and then the last runs clobber you to finish it out. It's a good one. Like, I'm really happy with like the variety of charts in these mid-level ranges lately. They're not feeling watered down
Game
as a whole.
over.
They all have like little things that make them tricky for their levels. And I think we need more of that because we've definitely had that lull in the past of like, oh, it's not the hardest chart for the song, so we're just going to kind of water down whatever's above it. Much more interesting when you give it some personality.
And then BPM did that.
Well, he would do that in different ways that would still be interesting. Usually. Necromancy is the worst case of this.
Like, Bimero Heart is similar to Bimero Crazy, just...
But it makes sense because it's all jacks everywhere. It's not just, oh, it's not just simple eighth note drills. It's, oh, I actually have to jack the entire time. There's a lot more going on. It's not like, say, here, I'm going to take cross soloist 22 and take out all the turns at the ends and make it a 20. Like, that's one of like the biggest examples I can think of.
Yep. That's where it is.
Next. Alright, this is a lot of run at the end. That much I know. I don't remember what the rest look like now. It's good. It's a fine one. A little bit of slop.
Absolutely perfect! Next stage.
Always side brackets. Always side brackets. Oh, it's fun. It's good. Definitely a good modernized chart. There's definitely some little nasty things about that. like all the little rolling brackets. Alright, let's check out doubles. We've got 3 of them to play. Trying not to go too fast right now because the back of my ankle's been kind of hurting since last night, and I hope sleeping was going to help it, but it's still a little sore, so I'm trying not to strain it. Definitely won't be playing for the next few days, that's for sure. Like, we might just have to call it after the 3 songs are done. We'll see. See what happens. We're gonna have a good time in here. Good one. I balanced 17.
Absolutely perfect!
So there's good alternating between bursting and just general movement. It's a good one. FFM's definitely had a good time with this one. I'm sure he enjoyed the song. Because it's a little weird because almost everything that's been in both Chrono Circle and Pump, with one exception, full sets of charts have been done by different people in both games. And the only exception to that now is Alive, with Spam doing Chrono Circle and Pump's charts. And sometimes I think that works. Like, Alive is such a goofy song to come up with charts for that I think that was the right choice. But you definitely had to change it up for a few, like this one. Like this, in Chrono Circle, this song was charted by a person who I assume was like from the Japanese side of things, so they're not part of the Pump team. So naturally, it has to get passed to somebody on the Pump team. That didn't happen for everything, though. Like, even stuff that was charted by Pump people got passed around. Like, Good Tech got passed from Conrad to Fefems. Good Bounce got passed from Spam to Sunny. It's an interesting way to handle things. That's what I get for looking at chat. That's what I get for looking at chat. Thank you.
Absolutely perfect! Wow! New record!
I mean, yeah, that's one of the examples. Like, there's many examples. We can't list them all. I would have like 30 things to list. Alright, we'll fix that another time. When I'm actually paying attention. Nice to have variety in the grades.
Game over!
Alright, people have been saying this one isn't a 22 because it's really tough at the end. I'm probably inclined to agree, but we're gonna see. Because that sure is a lot of non-trivial run at the end, looking at it. So we're gonna see. You know, we could joke that he wanted to rate this the same level as Wedding Crashers, and then Wedding Crashers got re-rated. Alright, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna have a good time regardless. Actually wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be at the end. It is really fun. Goof the beginning, but that's fine.
Wow! New record!
I can see it being like right on the border. But I thought I was going to struggle more with the ending, and I didn't feel it at all. I really wasn't that bad. It is really good. So good job to FFX. Definitely a very good set of charts. Yeah, I really need to just work on my foot placement. Like, foot placement in most sections is really bad. Like, out of, like, all the players, like, around my level, I am the absolute worst with, like, good foot placement for brackets. It's gotten better over the years, but I'm really bad at turning my ankle, and I really need to fix that. Okay. Hey, Rugen. How you doing, sir? Alright, 2 songs left. Bracket can be hard, but it really depends on which brackets, because some brackets are piss easy.
About the
Well, here goes my stream bit rate. Like, it's a really cool BGA, but it destroys the bit rate. just wish this song was louder. It's like really quiet. Yeah, that is true.
Perfect!
That can be true.
Wow! New record! Next
I remember
is-
going to Round 1 Hicksville when we were on vacation a couple years ago and found that this bracketing here was impossible. Like, it was impossible to bracket this. So I just avoided charts that use that. And that worked, especially since I was only, like, fooling around for the day there. good chart. That's a cool one.
Absolutely perfect!
You know, for something that's like O-Sings in that range, that one takes a lot more risks than usual. That's a good one.
Game over!
That's a good one. Now we get into his last of his singles. Because O-Sing didn't do any doubles, unfortunately, before he left the team. I believe all the doubles were Conrad's this time. So. I also appreciate that now this is the first song in the world. It's a lot more recognizable for me, and I prefer this over Professional, even with the sound problem. I want to tell you about the Pump universe. It's okay, but I think I actually enjoyed 18 more. That's also my fault.
Absolutely perfect!
That's fine, we'll fix that later.
Next stage.
About the universe.
Yeah, like, the chart was actually a bit less enjoyable than S18. It just wasn't as varied. It isn't bad at all, but it's just, it's your average O-Sing chart. Yeah, out of the singles, 18 is definitely the most interesting. Alright, let's go check out what Mr. Conrad did. two halves of the song are a little disconnected in difficulty here.
Absolutely perfect!
Too disconnected.
Wow! New record! Next stage.
Like, it's one thing to ramp up, but too much of the beginning plays like a 12 or 13.
About the universe.
I don't know. This probably should have been broken off into two separate charts. But they hate making mid-range doubles and down for this stuff these days, so... Okay. Like, for what it's worth, none of the patterning was bad. Like, it all flows fine, it's just... the disparity in difficulty is really weird. I still do like this song a lot, but playing it is not quite as enjoyable as I was hoping it was going to be. Maybe that'll change with these two charts. I'm not happy with those decisions. Because, yeah, people grow up fast, but you need replacement content for all the stuff that we don't have these days. Like, we have very few... Put it this way. We have literally about 10 times as many, like, 17s as we do 10s for doubles. Okay, maybe not for doubles. Like, it's probably more like 5 times the amount. But still, like, that's a ridiculous amount. Because we have, like, 20-something 10s, and we have, like, well over 100 17s.
There's 35 double tens.
35 double 10s. Okay, so it's like 3 to 4 times. Which is still ridiculous. Like, if you're gonna make... I would say at least put some stuff in the lower range for originals, because you know you're going to keep originals until the end of the game. Like, whenever that's going to be. You know you're going to keep originals. You may as well make some charts that people can always point to and they'll always be available for learning.
I can always point at solitary and tell people don't touch this.
Yeah. Anyways. See, I told you we were going to tell you about the Pump universe. Good that one.
Wow! New record!
No, that's a good one. It's good. That was a lot better balance. Also, take that, Kev. Told you to stop getting greats.
Yeah, the whole chart feels very around similar to keep on.
Maybe Conrad just wanted to be OCing. It's like, I'm OCing now. OCing is definitely missed. Like, he still plays, but he's just not on the team anymore. He did some good work for the series, though.
Game over.
And he was definitely a person you could tell improved over time. Like, you look at his early UCS, especially like the ones that were taken in for like the Prime 1 missions, and you can see a stark difference in like that and his like late content. It's like people really do learn over time.
Even the contest stuff.
Everybody's learned over time, really. Like, everybody's definitely done better than when they started. Now we've got bracket hell to deal with, so let's see what happens here. Almost like that. I'm pretty scared of this one. I think it's just a whole bunch of brackets. It's a cool chart, it looks like, but we'll see what happens. That's what I get for not paying attention.
I want to tell you about the universe.
Ending got me. That. Yeah, that's pretty nasty.
Fantastic.
That's pretty nasty. It's really fun. I wanted to play that again anyway, so it's fine.
Stage.
But you let your brain float away with the universe right there. You're gone.
About the universe.
Now this is legitimately really fun. And definitely my favorite chart for the song. But it ain't easy, that's for sure. It's pretty hard. It's pretty hard for me. As far as like other 24s go, this is perfectly fine. But it will definitely wreck you if you're not ready. Well, let's just say it's more appropriately rated than Galaxy Collapses. Because this and Galaxy Collapse being the same difficulty is a lie. try that again and not fail at the end this time.
I want to tell you about the universe.
That is a very uncomfortable pattern at the very end. I got to work at it.
Excellent! You did a really great job! Wow! New record!
Very, very fun though. Well, yeah, pretty much Kyle nailed it on the head there. People don't really want to write lowers. Now,
About the universe.
I'm one of the opposite people because I've kind of gone through this. And when I first started Infinity, I wasn't really keen on doing lowers, but I did them anyways. And then as we did more and more development and got better at writing lowers, I found out I actually really enjoyed doing lowers. So I'm one of the few people that would actually like to do them. But it's pretty much the same for the current team right now, because you have several people that are actually great at writing lowers consistently, and then you have some people that are kind of struggling, and their lowers are not as polished. Like I love Spam to death, but Vanish 2's lowest charts are kind of a mess, because like the patterning is fine, but the rhythms don't really fit something that a lower level player would be able to process. Oh, I actually enjoy that range the most because I don't have to try as hard to make it hard, but can still make it very interesting. And that kind of harkens back to like the Fiesta 1 days when we got a lot of stuff in that range. That was just very fun, filled out songs that needed new charts like Maria, Point Break, stuff like that. So my charting style kind of, like how I want to approach things, kind of represents that era in a lot of ways. I do agree with that, Regen, but they don't want to do that. And they would rather spend their time polishing the upper charts, which is, I understand why, but I don't agree with it. Anyways, the last thing I have left should just be Eternal Universe. I mean, this is kind of just reflected in how the community has changed ever since UCS became a thing. because every step maker on the team at this point has been picked through their UCS. Like, we have no step makers left from the pre-UCS days. So everybody was evaluated based on the UCS they've written over the years. And that includes our current manager.
Absolutely perfect! Wow!
You know, it's funny because I don't like this song at all. Like, nothing against Curie, it's just, this is just not my taste. Like, it feels like it's trying to be like the happy version of Broken Karma. And yeah, like, a lot of the hand games are like that. There's very egregious examples, and especially like early Voltex. Because Spooty rags on this all the time for the first Broken remix.
Game over!
I forget what the remix title was, but the first Broken remix in Booth. The advanced chart is basically just the exhaust with very few sections barely changed, but it's like 4 levels lower. It's rated 4 levels lower even though it plays about the same. And yeah, like, even in Infinity, our lores kind of freaking sucked in that regard. They were either really underrated, bad, or both. And I was responsible for some of that, so I have to take the blame and say that outright. Like, I look back at True S1 and I'm like, how is this a 1?
I'm only thinking Dance Survey is most of
Yeah,
the-
Dance S2 and S4 are pretty bad too. Yeah. Like I said, as you get better at writing lower things, you generally find them more enjoyable. Like, even like up to the 10 range or the 12 range, you can do some cool stuff. Like, I had a lot of fun writing Seize My Day D12. I wouldn't write a lot of those parts the way I did now, but I had a lot of fun doing it. Like, just doing very different things than the norm. Because it teaches players things. Anyways, let's keep going on Eternal Universe. go figure the title screen. I'll run away from me here. I'd honestly be okay with calling that a 19. Chicken wings harder than that.
Absolutely perfect!
Those were some rhythms at the beginning, though.
New record!
I was thankfully locked. I was really locked in on those rhythms.
Next stage.
But that would have been a disaster if I wasn't any focused. Oh, Dream to Nightmare is miserable to make lower score. Like, I can very much understand why the Fiesta 2 team did not put anything below S19. Because, holy crap, it is so hard to write a lower chart for that song at all. That is true. And this is 200 BPM, so maybe it's justified still. But there's just that long stretch in the middle where there's not really a lot happening, so it's pretty easy to recover. Both health and stamina. Yeah, Dream to Nightmare is miserable. Witch Doctor, there's like no real excuse at this point. They even added lower singles in Fiesta EX. So there's really no excuse not to have at least one double. Well, I saw Franco was able to get this in one try. So I'm going to just try and turn everything because it didn't look that bad to turn. I remember that this is the last song out of the new stuff. I don't know how much else I'll try and grind out before I stop for the day. I'll probably try and at least get a Star Dream Eurobeat shortcut because I wanted to get that D20 out of the way. Hey, I said it right this time. I actually said it right.
Yay.
Yeah, I can definitely attest to eating my words because I didn't think Vanish 2 D24 was going to be that hard. And it's quite a bit harder than it looks. Like, to pass it isn't really too bad, but it is a lot weirder and harder than it looks. It's really fun, though, so I'm okay with that. If you know the ending's coming, it's not that hard. It really isn't.
Excellent! You did a
Let's play that
really
again.
great job.
Let's play that again.
Wow!
And we'll actually turn. Like, I got scared and tried to bail out. And I got punished.
Next stage.
It really isn't that hard. Yeah, this is like the complete opposite end of high-end 200 BPM 23s, like Telling Fortune Flower. It's the complete opposite end of the scale. This is very low-end. Yeah, I think I remember that.
USB 1.
Yeah, USB 1.1 sucked, especially when we had to install 1.09 and 1.10 at APM.
Well, I also had MK6, which did not help.
Yeah, it didn't. Well, you could have plugged it into the back.
That's still MK6 processor is slower than MK9, so it takes longer.
I'm pretty sure it'll still accept from 2.0 though. It does on Dedicabs. We won't go into that. Maybe the game stops it.
The game stops.
The game maybe stops it. It's definitely not a hardware related thing because it definitely works on the back.
It's definitely the game. Like, I was told the game just couldn't process to 0. That's why.
The game can't process a lot of things.
When they tried to activate to 0, the game would crash.
God. Yeah, old Pump was cursed in that regard. Like, can't even get USB 2.0 working, game just crashes. Oh well. I mean, to be fair, this whole game is cursed. Like, they had to fix the Super Akuma Emperor issue, where a step was not hittable like half the time. We always wondered about that. I still have to internally wonder what happens to cause that. Anyways, let's try this again and then we'll do double. Keep messing that up. Better. Not bad.
You are the best! Wow! New record!
Yeah, that's not that hard. Has its challenges, but not that hard. Yeah, conflict was they put a real step there that shouldn't have been there. So you had basically two real steps on top of each other. Whereas, yeah, Super Akuma Emperor, from what admins told us, there was actually like an actual hardware issue that they didn't catch, which is really interesting to think about. Like, it's definitely a weird case.
Game over!
That's still not as bad a hardware issue as things in the past, though. Good luck playing that freaking Toccata mission where you need rush. And you have to S it. Oh, my MK6 can't handle the background being sped up, so it drops all my inputs.
Yep, default MK6 could not do that.
Yep. I had to play that mission on an MK9 for sure to get it to be stable.
Well, I had better processor, so it was not a problem for me. Which also shows that they don't think because graphics should be processed by GPU, not by CPU.
There's the problem, though. Thinking. We've discussed this. I love them and all, but yep. Yeah, it was happening to me on 24. I haven't even tried the 26. I've been freaking terrified and scared, and I know I'm gonna have to play it, especially since I need to build up for my incentive song that I have for my set. Okay. I think I'm gonna call it after the set of doubles for Eternal Universe. I'm just kind of wanting to just relax, get some food before work. So we're gonna play the last set. We'll get these last charts done. I've done everything else, so that's fine. We'll save the rest of this for the weekend. Like maybe we might do like a casual stream of like Indeedly Do or something. Now that I've got it actually working. So Unreal Engine is a fucking piece of shit in terms of like compatibility with other things, as we found out that it really does not like OBS game capture. But we found a workaround, so thanks Haru for giving me a workaround on that, so we'll probably stream that sometime. But Unreal is a freaking unreal thing in terms of compatibility. Like, Jesus Christ. I just want to play the funny car game.
I just wanted to finally get past the title screen.
Yeah. I finally did. I could play like 30 seconds of it before I like stop it from testing. Alright, so Eternal Universe doubles and then we're done. I'm also laughing internally because we've got 3 C-Sphere BGAs back to back right here. Like this one, truck flips through floor. Truck goes to space. Truck becomes shit and destroys everything. No, I'm joking on that last one. Maybe the one highway chaser could be the same, I don't know. I don't think it is though. Especially since the ones in Autumn Break are more like Lego trucks. That was like the epitome of modern Nimgo charts.
Absolutely perfect! Wow! New record!
You really couldn't get any more modern Nimgo than that. Especially since the contrast between this and singles is so vast.
Next stage.
You know, maybe he's getting back at Sunny for Cinquantain. Because we know Nimgo made most of the charts in Synchrotain, and then Sunny made like the uppers that are now gone. And so Nimgo was probably like, oh, you're gonna invade my song, huh? Well, I'm gonna invade yours now. Which is actually interesting. I'm surprised Sunny didn't chart double for Eternal Universe, considering he's still on the team. They passed it over to Nimgo. I think this might be like the first instance of that. Of somebody still on the team not doing their doubles for it. I can't think of anything else.
Maybe he was busy making all the half doubles for.
Yeah, it could be too busy doing
Rise.
other things. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening with Rise. Well, the thing is, we don't know who made all the stuff for Rise.
Well, now that I'm thinking about it, they say Doki is on hiatus for a bit. What if they put Doki to making all the half doubles for Ice?
No.
That would have been a fun
Yeah.
explanation.
Like, they said he was on hiatus, but I think he was, like, actually, like, away for a while. He was helping as staff for Dominion Tournament.
Maybe he's a bit.
That was the other thing I was thinking, like, he could be having his military service.
But it would have been fun if they
It would have
just-
been fun. Anyways. That was one of the strangest sight reads I will ever have. Wow.
Unbelievable! You are the best! Wow! New record!
That was a chart. That is a very unique T23. I will give it that.
That one big attack turn on hold. They go down and then they go backward and then
Next stage.
That was interesting. Like, I didn't see that one. That was a complete sight read, so, I'll take my triple S sight read. Nimgo really wants to torture us with, like, really weird things in, like, the doubles he's added for M charts, because Human Extinction was the same way. It's a good one. Like, it's a good chart. It's just very different from what you'd expect. Unless you know Nimgo like I do. And even then, I'm just like, what are you doing, man? I think really Spam did say it best a while back. Like, he likes Nimgo's charts because they managed to make things he managed to make things in a very interesting way that don't feel overly forced. Unless they're meant to be shitposts like Conspiracy Theory D25, which is still really fun. I saw this chart like once. So it won't be a sight read. But I don't remember much of it, so it's probably still going to be rough. But this is the last thing I'm going to do for the day. So I can go shower before work and get a bite to eat. You know, I'm amazed I got as much of the ending as I did just jumping around.
Yes! Your skills are really
Wow.
amazing! Wow! New record!
To pass, that's not that hard. To score is going to be a different question. It is a really cool chart. It really breaks the mold in a lot of ways. Like, as long as you just push it, you'll be fine.
Game over!
You'll probably feel a little fatigued about halfway to 2/3 through. But if you just go, you're not going to have to push much more. So to pass, it's not that hard for 25. But, like I said, scoring is definitely going to be very interesting. I'm going to have to really learn a lot of it. I had fun with it, though. It was a good one. Like I said, Nimgo manages to make very interesting new things. And it doesn't feel like overly forced. It's just, is Nimgo being Nimgo. Maybe he feels guilty about his Chrono Circle stuff. Because unfortunately, Nimgo's Chrono Circle stuff was not quite as good. But he definitely came back with a strong point for Phoenix. There's Paranoidal,
I don't mind that.
Move, Akuno Musume.
The one with that
Yeah.
one? Yeah.
That's off the top of my head. There's at least a few more, but I can't remember off the top of my head. The thing is, Paranoidal Master is fine. It's Expert that sucks. Like, Paranoidal Expert is awful.
Was that Snow Sunny?
No, that's Invitex, actually. It's really good. Like, Eternal Universe is really good. It's just, you're probably going to be thrown off the first time, even if you've seen it, just because it's not a conventional chart. But it does it really well. It does its stuff really, really well. And I have to give a lot of respect to that. So yeah, overall, this update was really fun. Like, aside from a couple of lowers, I had fun with everything. Everything was either good to really good. I'm definitely going to take a break from Pump for a few days. We'll probably come back on like Saturday or Sunday. We'll see if we can stream just like casual games or something, like either Deedly Do or something else. But let me see if I can find y'all a host on Twitch, see who's doing some stuff. Where are the gamers? Let's find out where the gamers are. Let's see. None of my usuals are really doing anything right now. You know, I see CHQ Arcade is they've got some pump stuff going on, so let's go say hi to them. Probably wanted to visit that up there. So anyways, go say hi to peeps over at CHQ. And like I said, we'll try and do some more pump stuff over the weekend. We'll try and do some casual stuff sometime this week, hopefully if I feel up to it before work. But I'll see y'all next stream. Thanks for watching, everyone.